So I welcome you all again to the solution set number 2 NCRT, and today's topic is consumers behavior, consumer theory. These are the questions to be covered in this lecture. You can just have a look. We are going to talk about the budget set of a consumer, what is a budget line, why it is downward sloping, and there are a few numericals based on these equations and variables and interrelationship between them. Then it will be monotonic preferences and one more numerical. In this part I'm going to cover these 5 major topics and numerical as well. Let's start with very first part. So what do you mean by budget set of a consumer? This comes under theory of consumer behavior and it's one of very important topics. So budget set is a collection of all bundles of goods that a consumer can buy with his or her income at prevailing market prices. Now 3 points to be kept in mind here is that it's a bundle of goods or set of goods. Second thing is there is limited income, given income, and third is even prices are given. So now I'll pick an example from here. Suppose that a consumer has rupees 20. That's the fixed income a consumer is having. There are 2 goods in the market and both are pricing at rupees 5, and they are available only in integral units. Further, what can happen with this situation, what can happen under this situation is, now the bundles that this consumer can afford to buy, there are several combinations. There are in those combination only this consumer can buy those goods. Like first you can see the very first combination where both the units are at 0 means consumer has not taken anything, has not purchased anything, has not done any purchase. Second is when the consumer buys 0 unit of first good and 1 unit of second good. Then there is a set or the bundle where the consumer buys no quantity of first good and buys 2 unit of second good. Then similarly there are several sets that can be made out of those 2 goods. Now if you see among these bundles, so these sets, these combinations are known as budget set. Now among these bundles there are a few combinations where the given income matches exactly to how much he has purchased or she has purchased, meaning to say that the entire income is getting is spent on here. The consumer is using his entire income on these bundles or sets. For example, if we pick one set where consumer is buying 0 unit of first good and 4 unit of second goods, if you see since the price given is rupees 5, means each good is going to cost rupees 5 to the consumer. So even if the consumer is not buying first good, I mean the 0 quantity of first good and 4 units of second goods, meaning 4 into 5 is 20. So meaning to say that the entire income is being spent here. The entire income of rupees 20 is being spent here. So these bundles is showing where the cost is exactly equal to rupees 20, whereas there are other bundles also which cost less than rupees 20. So this is another aspect, but here what I want to say is that these bundles or these sets are nothing else but the budget set. So now the consumer cannot afford to buy bundles like 3,3 or 4,5, because why? Because they are costing more than 20 rupees. So it is comparatively unaffordable for the consumer, because we have already assumed that the income is given and is being limited to rupees 20. So at the existing or prevailing prices, consumer cannot buy these combination or budget set. It is somewhere more than what he is being carrying or she is been carrying for the purchase. Further, there is a little more we can add to this, that we will study more in detail in the further slides. Now if we see, if both the goods are perfectly divisible, then the consumer budget set would consist of all the bundles. Suppose the two goods are x1 and x2, such that x1 and x2 are any numbers and they are greater than or equal to 0. Then there is this equation that you can see been highlighted in yellow, is the equation of the budget line, where P1 and P2 are the prices of the two goods, x1 and x2 are the goods as we have already discussed, and M is the amount of income the consumer is carrying. So this P1 x1 plus P2 x2 is less than or equal to M is the equation of the budget line that we will study in the next question. Here the budget set can be represented. Now how this can be represented diagrammatically, that you can see through this figure. Here on the x-axis, quantities of bananas, suppose there are two goods or two fruits that consumer want to buy, and one is bananas, another is mangoes. So on the horizontal axis you can see quantity of bananas is given, on the y-axis quantities of mangoes is being given. Then this line, this particular straight line joining the 2 points here, sorry, we should go back. Yes, this particular line is the budget line, and the equation of this budget line is P1 x1 plus P2 x2 equal to 1 or equal to or less than 1, when where M is the income, as I've already explained the variables here. Now these two are the intercepts. This is known as M upon P1 is the horizontal intercept and M upon P2 is the vertical intercept, and below this line is the availability of all the budget sets or the bundles that is being possible, making various combination in the given or the prevailing situation. Now we can move ahead. So what is budget line and why it is downward sloping? That is the next question. The budget line represents all bundles which cost the consumer her entire or his entire income. Now we have understood what these bundles are, what these budget sets are. So this budget line represents all those possible budget sets or bundles that consumes the entire income of a consumer. And this budget line is negatively sloping. Why? That we'll see further. We'll refer to the to earlier example number 2.1. Now the line, if we see, I've taken this figure again here for reference. This line consists of all those bundles which cost exactly equal to 1. What is equal to M? What is M? M is the level of income which is fixed by nature. This line is called the budget line. Points below the budget line represents bundle which costs strictly less than M. Since the level of income is given, so this forms a ceiling here, and whatever sets are being formed here, the cost will be strictly lesser than or equal to M. At this line they will be equal to M, and below this they will be lesser than M, because above this line that will be completely a situation of unaffordability, and which is not a feasible or possible situation here. So now if we see equation 2.1, for that I need to go back again. See here, if we work out a little more on equation number 2.1, we can find out the value of x2. x2 is nothing else but the quantity of good, second good, or good 2. So this way we can find out the value of any of these variables if further values are being given. So here the budget line is a straight line with horizontal intercept, as I've already discussed. The horizontal intercept here is m upon p1 and the vertical intercept is m upon p2. The horizontal intercept represent the bundle that a consumer can buy if she spends her entire income on bananas. So if the consumer is not buying any unit of mangoes here and she or he spends entire income on bananas, then this intercept is showing, this horizontal intercept is showing that situation. On the other hand, this intercept m, which is the vertical intercept, which is m upon p2, is showing that situation where the consumer is not at all buying any units of bananas and spent his or her entire income on mangoes. So this vertical intercept is showing that situation. Now if we talk about the slope of this budget line, it is nothing else but the ratio of the two prices, price of good 1 and price of good 2. It is negatively sloping and it is negatively signed. Why it is negatively signed? Because consumer's income is fixed here, and in order to buy some extra unit of one good, the other good needs to be sacrificed. So that is why it is negatively sloping, because for extra unit of one good we are sacrificing another some extra units of another goods, keeping in mind the constraint of income we have and the given prices we have. So that is why the slope is minus p1 upon p2. The same is being explained here. The budget line is downward sloping because a consumer can increase consumption of good 1 only by decreasing consumption of good 2. The consumer have limited income which can be spent on those goods between good 1 and good 2, and thus the slope is minus p1 upon p2, or delta. Here delta shows change in the number of units or change in quantity, so it is delta x2 upon delta x1, which implies the rate of exchange or the rate at which good 2 can be substituted for good 1. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to take a little break here due to some technical reasons. So I'm back again. Now the next part is, or the next question is question number 3, where there is a situation given that a consumer wants to consume two goods. The price of two goods are rupees 4 and 5 respectively, and the consumer income is given as rupees 20. So here what we are supposed to do, we have to deal with 4 small questions here, where the first part is that what will be the equation of budget line. So as we have already done the equation of budget line, it's very simple, that we have done earlier, if you remember. It's very simple here, we have already done in the very initial part. So this is the equation of the budget line. All we have to do is putting the values which is already given here. The value of first good, second good, and the level of income. So prices are given here 4 and 5 that we will put here. Goods are, we can assume that there are two goods, x and y. Then we will put the value, and this will be the equation of the budget line. Similarly here the situation is that if the entire income is spent on good 1, which is good x, Then the quantity of what will be the quantity of the second good if there's no income being spent on that. So we'll assume the quantity of y to be 0, and we'll simply put the values here. 4 is the price for x, and since there is nothing spent on, no quantity of y has been taken, so it has been taken as 0. 5 is the price of y, so it's 4x plus 5 into 0 equal to 20. Further it will be come out to be 5 units. So the consumer will buy 5 units of good good x, which is the good one. So this way it can be worked out. See, it's very simple. The given values can be put in the equation, and further the values can be sorted out, can be taken out. If the situation has been reversed, that if the entire income is spent on good 2, then what will be the quantity of consumed of good egg? And then the quantity of x will be 0, because the entire income is being spent on y. So here the value of y needs to be taken out. In the same situation, we'll put all the values, and the unit of y can be taken out. And the next part is asking about the slope of budget line. We already know what is the slope. It's the minus p1 upon p2. The values of p1 and p2 is given. We will simply put in the value, and the value comes out to be minus 0.8. Now what is monotonic preferences? As the name itself suggests, that it shows a particular pattern. So the situation is that if consumers' preferences are assumed to be such that between any two bundles, suppose there are two bundles or sets available. First bundle is x1 comma x2, and second bundle is y1 and comma y2. And if in this particular first bundle which is x1 comma x2, it has more of at least one of the goods and has no less than of the other good, meaning to say that situation is benefiting here, because both the goods are available in abundant quantities. So here in this particular bundle, both the goods are available in good quantity, whereas in the another bundle, which is y1 comma y2, this situation is not as much benefiting. So in this situation, where more of both the goods are available, consumer preference will go towards x1 comma x2. So consumer will prefer x1 comma x2 over y1 comma y2. Such preferences are called monotonic preferences. Thus, a consumer preferences are monotonic if and only if between any two bundles, the consumer prefers the bundle which has more of at least one of the goods and no less of the other goods as compared to the other bundle. So this is a situation where the consumer is getting maximum satisfaction. Preferences of course goes towards that bundle or set, and such preferences are known as monotonic preferences. Now the last part here is again there is a situation given that a consumer can afford to buy 6 units of good 1 and 8 unit of good 2. Again there are two goods, two prices respectively. If she or he spent his entire income, the price of the two goods are rupees 6 and 8 respectively. Now how much is the consumer income? So see, the values of all the variable in this budget line equation is being given. Only y needs to be calculated. Quantity of good 1 is 6 unit, quantity of good 2 is given as 8 units, price of good 1 is given 6, and price of good 2 is given 8. So what we will do, we'll simply pick the equation of the budget line, put all these values here and calculate the value of y, which comes out to be rupees 100. So this is as simple as that, but these questions are really important because they keep coming in several competitive exams, and this equation of budget line is really important because it's being used in several different ways. So all you have to do is keep this thing in your memory, and if the concept is clear, I don't think there is a problem. So this was all about in this lecture. For my live classes, you can join me on Miva Tutorials. This is my portal, this is my website where you can avail live classes of economics, econometrics, statistics. I'm covering both the sections, UG and PG level courses, and all you have to do is log into this website. You can avail free demo classes over there. PDF notes are also available. So stay tuned and take care of yourselves. I wish you good luck. Thank you very much.